In this episode, I talk to elite powerlifter Ryan Baylard, and we talk about how to fix a shift in your hips when you squat and whether or not you should wear knee sleeves when squatting heavy. I want you to have the capability to fully move the way your body was designed to, right?
Drop of a hat, I'll take you back to where my problems lie. In trouble, younger daughter done some shit that made my mama cry. Out to the heavens like I bless him, for I know he's lost. Caught in a trance and this manic depression settled in. Living in the fantasy.
Hey, what's up everybody? I'm Dr. Horschig from Squat University, and this is episode 6 of the Ask Squat You show. Today, I'm joined by Ryan Baylard. Ryan, do you want to introduce yourself for the Squat University audience?
Hey, I'm Ryan. I'm a police officer in the Kansas City metro area. I currently compete in the USA powerlifting. I'm ranked currently number 3 in the 183-pound weight class. My best lifts include a 562-pound squat, a 429-pound bench press, and a 650-pound deadlift with a 1625 total.
So, pretty good. We're going to be discussing a couple things today, but let's get into the show. Christopher Luke 15 writes, I shift to my dominant side during squatting and deadlifting motions. Do you have a video or could you make one on ways to correct this? Alright, so what we're going to talk about first is how to fix a hip shift during the squat. Now, I'm going to have Ryan here demonstrate the 2 most common ways people present with this issue. So let's put the bar on your back. Now the first thing that a lot of people will do is they'll actually lean to their dominant side on the way down. So I'll let Ryan take his squat stance. And as he squats, he's going to lean to one side and then back up. Now the second thing people will do is they'll actually look good on the descent, but it's on the way up that they'll shift over to one side. Good on the way down, on the way up, shifting over to their dominant side. Now, there's a number of different issues and reasons why this would happen. But if we don't have the time to actually do a hands-on evaluation and find all the small things, there are a number of things you can do at home to find these weak links, expose them, and then fix them so that you can have a better looking squat. I find a number 1 reason for this issue is an imbalance in coordination and stability in the hips. So what we're going to do today is show you how to expose those weak links and a couple ways to fix them. So the first thing I do as a physical therapist when I see someone who has a shift in their hips during a double leg squat is get them into a single leg squat to screen their level of dynamic control of their body. So what I'm going to do is have Ryan on one foot with his shoes off because we don't want to let those weightlifting shoes give us any assistance. And I'm going to ask him to perform just a single leg squat. It doesn't have to be an ass to grass pistol squat, but see what the quality of his movement looks like. So let's try just a small single leg squat. Good, and back up. Now not too bad. People who have hip shifts commonly will show imbalances one side versus the other. Either their knee will cave in as they squat down, their chest will shift over one side to the other. Basically, it does not look like a clean and balanced squat. So let's show a couple things. So as you squat down, let that knee cave in a little bit. That's one thing that people will show. And also, they'll let their chest go one way or the other. So as you squat down, let that chest cave over one way. Good. Now what that's showing is that there's probably a coordination problem somewhere in his body, that the muscles aren't firing at the right time to basically allow perfect coordinated movement. And I'm going to show you an easy test you can now perform to see what that problem may be. The first test I want to show you guys is called the single leg bridge test. And this is a very simple thing you can do at home to check your level of coordination during movements that need hip extension, which is the movement of driving your butt out of the bottom of the squat. What you're going to do is have one leg completely straight. From here, you're just going to lift your butt up and hold that for about 5 to 10 seconds. So up. Now while they're up there, this leg can stay in line with that, I want you to feel for what muscles are working the hardest. Is it your hamstrings, your glutes, your back, or your quads of your stance leg? Back down. Now, what I ideally want to see is your glutes are the main thing that's working really hard. However, for a lot of people, they'll feel their hamstrings cramping, they'll feel their back working hard, or they may even feel their quads working. I want you to try this on both sides and see if you can feel a difference in side to side. If you don't feel your glutes as the primary mover on both sides for hip extension, it means that you have an imbalance in your ability to produce hip extension, and that is one weak link that we can then fix in order to fix your hip shift. The next test I want to show you is a strength test for your glute medius, the muscle on the side of your hip. Now this muscle does two things. First, it helps with postural control of your trunk. Second, it helps with control of your knee, basically allowing your knee to stay in line and not cave in during your squat. Now, what you're gonna do is keep this top leg straight. You're gonna raise it up and back just a little bit, keeping that foot in line with the body. I'm gonna have him hold it right here, keeping his pelvis in line. He's not rocking back or rocking forward. Right here, I'm gonna push down and see how hard he can resist. I'll push down. Now that's not too bad. Some people, I can take one finger and push that foot all the way back down. So I'm testing purely the strength of this muscle. It's time now to show you how to fix those problems if you found any weak links. Now, the very baseline exercise we're going to do to fix the problem is called a bridge. Now, we tested in a single leg bridge, but we're going to fix it, at least at the start, in a double leg position. Now, if you found an inability for your glutes to be the main primary mover in the single leg bridge, or even found an inability for those glutes on the side of your hips to kick on and stay strong during the other test that we showed, this is going to be a great exercise for you. What you're going to use is an elastic band around your knees. This is TheraBand, however, there's a number of different products out there on the market. First things first, the knees are going to be pushed out to the side just a little bit. I want them in line with the feet. Automatically, to maintain these knees out here in line with the feet, the glute meads have to turn on. So already we're focusing on purposeful coordination and getting those muscles to fire at the right time. It's not just about pure strength, but whether or not we can get those muscles to fire and remain strong during our entire movement process. So first things first, knees wide. Second thing, I want you to pick the toes up just slightly. That's going to allow you to drive through your heels and really turn on your posterior chain. Step 3 is going to be brace your core. I like the cue like someone's going to punch you right in the stomach. Then we raise the hips up. Okay, so brace, raise the hips. I want you to squeeze your butt muscles as hard as you can. Remember, the knees are in line, the brace is staying strong. If you're doing this correctly, you should feel your butt muscles on fire. I want you to hold this for about 5 seconds and then back down. And I want you to do 2 sets of 20 reps for a 5-second hold. Now, why the high amount of reps? Well, in order to fix a problem that is due to coordination or instability, your body needs a ton of repetitions. So that's why we do the high amount of reps. Just like that, and back down. You feeling your glutes?
Yep.
There we go. Once we've cleared up some of those coordination problems with the double leg bridge, we then need to transfer our stability work into something more functional. What I want to show you today is a reactive stability drill. Now, if you want to get really precise about it, this is called an RNT, Reactive Neuromuscular Training, basically exercise that helps the body learn how to fix movement problems by teaching it what it's doing wrong. Now, whenever you're moving with a hip shift, a lot of times your body isn't feeling exactly for what's going wrong. So with these exercises, we basically teach the body by pulling it into that bad position even more. What's a bad position? So that you can learn, push into then a good position and basically fix your movement. So what we're gonna do is put this around his knee and we're going to feed into that bad position of pulling his knee in towards his body and basically pushing into that hip shift. So I'm going to pull, now don't go crazy with this, start with the light pull at first, pull in, and I'm going to have him do a small single leg squat. Now, if his body is learning what is bad so that it is fixing, the hips, knees, and toes are going to stay in line, and the chest is going to stay in line. It's not going to shift over either way. So light pull, single leg stance, small squat, and back up. Remember, the foot is staying nice and stable, the hips are starting the movement, knees are staying in line, we're not shifting over with the chest either way. We're teaching the glutes to turn on at the right time to coordinate purposeful and perfect looking movement. Let's try a couple more, down and then back up. Just like that. And I would do these sometimes on both sides to make sure that we're clearing up weak links that you may have on either leg. So that is RNT. The last step of fixing a hip shift is to actually get under the bar, and you can use a band to really help retrain that last little bit of coordination to make sure that your squat is then looking really good. What you're going to do is put a band, a resistance band that we used again for the double leg bridge exercise, around the knees. You can go right below, right above, it doesn't matter too much as long as it's around the knee joint. From here, what you're going to do is a small really step to turn on those weak hips that we were fixing before and make sure that they're working in proper coordination side to side. So what you're going to do is drive those knees out just a little bit. Now remember, we're doing this to the point where the big toe is still in contact with the ground. Drive the knees out too far and your foot's going to roll on its side and you're just going to be unstable again. So the big toe always stays into the ground. If you turn those knees out just slightly, you'll feel the sides of your hips almost turn like a screwdriver will. They're going to get nice and tight. From here, you want to feel for what's going on both sides. Are you getting that exact same tension in the right and the left hip? If you are, you're doing it right, and then you're just going to go down into your squat and then back up. And what you're doing is, this is with really light weight. You're cognitively feeling for what is happening at each hip. You want to feel the same amount of tension be maintained in the right and the left hip during the entire execution of the squat. If at any time you're feeling one hip sort of give out more, maybe shift over, it just means that we're not ready yet for this exercise and we need to clear it up with some of our other exercises before we get back to this point. So this is the very last step in fixing that hip shift. All right, so that's how to clear up a hip shift in the squat. So, next question.
Eggy Josh writes, Squat University, sleeves or no sleeves when going heavy?
All right, so the next question is on whether or not you should wear knee sleeves when squatting heavy. Now, I'm gonna let Ryan take this question and we'll go from there.
So I personally prefer to wear knee sleeves anytime I squat. I put them on at the beginning of my workout. I don't think knee sleeves are like knee wraps where you're gonna get 50 to 70 pounds out of them. If you get a small size or a competition fit, you may get maybe 5 to 10 pounds, but for me, it's more about warmth and keeping that knee stable.
Definitely. So I think the big thing I want people to understand are knee sleeves are not here to do two things. They don't help you lift more weight like a knee wrap would, and they should not be worn to cover up pain. I hear a lot of people say, well, I've got pain in my knees, so I definitely need to wear a pair of knee sleeves. These are not meant for that at all. If you have knee pain, you need to fix why the pain is there, not just try to cover it up with some sleeves. So these are really, really great at keeping your knees warm. Now, should you wear them when you squat heavy? Well, I think that's going to be a personal choice because again, it's not really helping you lift more weight. If you like the feeling of wearing some knee sleeves when you're lifting heavy, there's nothing wrong with it. But as long as you're doing it for the right reason, you're on track. So, hope you guys liked today's Ask Squat You show. Now, we've always had a question of the day. I'm gonna let Ryan ask today's question.
So my question for you guys is, which type of knee sleeves do you prefer? There's three major types out there. You have the Mark Bell strong sleeves, you have the SBD knee sleeves, and then you have my favorite, the Titan knee sleeves. So my question for you is, which type of knee sleeve do you prefer and why?
All right, so there you guys go. As always, if you guys liked today's video, please subscribe to the channel and share it with your friends. Happy squatting, everyone.
Hometown hero on the road doing shows and sold out arenas. You can call me what you want, but you won't ever slow my dreams up. This is the vision of a dreamer. I seem to